I'm Jim Grimes. We're talking with Ray Schroeder about MOOCs. Ray is the Associate Vice Chancellor for Online Learning and Director of the Center for Online Learning, Research and Service at the University of Illinois at Springfield. Ray, thanks for talking with us. What is a MOOC and why should we pay attention?
Well, Jim, it's a pleasure as always to talk with you. We've worked together in education, higher ed for, too many decades,
right.
Actually. You know, MOOCs are really kind of a new development, and they're driven by the internet, the international potential to reach tens or even hundreds of thousands of people at the same time. They are massive, open, online courses. And the first ones were recorded in about 1997. And over time they've grown and then taken a great leap in the last year.
What impact, if any, are you seeing with MOOCs on traditional face-to-face or university online credit courses?
Well, it's interesting because these are open resources. That means that the materials from MOOCs can be used concurrently at 4 credit classes all over the world. So there can be a university here and one there and 4, who knows, abroad that are teaching the class at the same time. But they also commonly are recorded. So there's an asynchronous component, a synchronous component, and each of the pieces becomes available openly to the world. So, you know, in that respect, there's a proliferation of offerings among multiple institutions at the same time.
Now, what are you seeing in terms of the response by universities and colleges?
Well, there are 2 responses. You know, there's one of fear and one of enthusiasm. I think that institutions recognize that MOOCs may reach a very large market share. And depending upon the economic model, for example, one could take the Google model and put advertising in the column, in one column, and the course material elsewhere, and so it could generate revenue and compete head-to-head to universities. And so that's a matter of concern, because in higher education we've not really encountered this kind of competition before. But there's enthusiasm because the opportunity is here today to teach the world, to teach on every continent, to reach the people whom we haven't reached before.
Well, let me ask you this. We've talked a little bit earlier about new research that's out and a paper that's coming out. Tell us a little bit about that. What's new on the scene?
Sure. Yeah, I have a paper coming out this fall that's looking at the potential and really kind of extrapolating where MOOCs might lead us. Historically, in online learning, and I guess historically is a rather large word for something that's been around 15 years, but over the last 15 years or so, we've really put an emphasis on one-to-one interaction and engagement. We talk about the teaching presence, about the cognitive presence, and the social presence in online courses. Well, the teaching presence is really that interaction and engagement with the faculty member and the student. In a MOOC, if one has 120,000 students, it's difficult to get very personal in that teaching engagement. Certainly the social engagement can be very large, the cognitive, the material engagement certainly can be as robust as ever. But it's a matter of making that kind of shift from one instructor to perhaps many instructors leading discussion groups and leading study groups around the world. So research is just coming out now. We're just cultivating information, and in fact edX, EDX, is the combination of Harvard and MIT. Each put $30 million into edX, and edX will focus on gathering research data about MOOCs, about massive open courses. So we can expect, certainly from that source and hundreds of other sources, more information, more research.
Well, thanks so much for taking some time out to chat with us. We've been talking with Ray Schroeder, Associate Vice Chancellor for Online Learning at the University of Illinois Springfield. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Jim.